Welcome back to another episode of Celestial Do, a space where we explore our inner world, where storytelling and spiritual tools deepen our connection to ourselves and the universe. I am your host, Rocio Celeste, and this is my co-host, Nuga Cosmico. He is my soulmate and constant companion. We are here to share our experiences and to open a space for insight and transformation. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin this journey inward. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the masks we wear, the masks we wear to fit into society. Very often we wear masks to belong, to fit in, to survive in this world. These masks protect us, but over time they start to hide the real us. And sometimes we forget who we were before we put them on. Who were we before we even put them on? When we are kids, we are so open, but we're also incredibly sensitive to what others think of us. We start to notice what gets us attention, what makes us feel loved, or what keeps us from being rejected. And so we start putting on these little personas, a funny face here, a quiet personality there, a helpful act in another place. And slowly they become who we are, or at least who we think we are. There are all these masks that we wear. I have to be the funny one to make people laugh, ease tension in the group. I have to be the quiet one so that I don't get scolded for being myself if I'm being too goofy. Who do we have to learn to be in order to survive when we're little? As we grow up, these personas get bigger. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung defined the persona as the social mask that we wear to present to the world. It's who I am. It's that persona that I develop growing up in order to fit in, to belong, to survive. And then I start to believe it even myself, that that's who I am. This mask, this persona is how I present myself to the world. A lot of people tell me that it looks like Nuga Cosmico has a mask on, like eyeliner, but that's a real him. He was born like that. That's his true beauty, his authentic self. Going back to what I was saying, as we're growing up, we start playing roles. Maybe you are the class clown, the overachiever, the perfect daughter, the popular guy. We convince ourselves that we have to be a certain type of person or have a certain personality in order to belong, to fit in, to not be rejected. These roles, these masks, become ways of protecting ourselves, ways of fitting in, ways of surviving. And the truth is, they work, at least for a while. But the problem is, the more we wear them, the more we forget the person underneath. We become so attached to these roles that we forget who we were without them. And then as we get older, These masks only get heavier. At work, we might be the competent one, the go-getter, the calm and collected person. In relationships, we might wear the mask of the perfect partner. At family gatherings, we try to be the supportive one. We wear these masks because we think we have to. Because without them, we might be too much, too vulnerable, too real. But here's the thing. Over time, something starts to happen. These personas, they don't just help us anymore. They start to define us. We forget the real us, the one who didn't need to pretend. We lose touch with that person. Who was I before any of these masks started to appear? Before I started developing a personality? Who was I? Who is that authentic self? We lose touch with that authentic part of ourselves, and the worst part, we don't even realize it. We don't even know that it's happening. We become like strangers to ourselves. The more we wear these masks, the more we disconnect from what we truly want, from who we truly are. And I know it's hard to admit it. It's hard to let go of those masks when they have protected us for so long. Why would I get rid of these masks now when they have helped me my entire life? But the truth is, the more we hide behind these masks, the more we feel lonely, lost, and sometimes even empty. It's like we are walking through life as a version of ourselves that isn't fully ours. Earlier I mentioned Carl Jung. Have you ever heard of Carl Jung's idea of the persona? Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist. He's well known in the world of psychology, in the world of archetypes, in the world of shadow work. And he defined the persona as the social mask we wear to present to the world. It's the personality that I pretend to have in order to behave and act in a certain way. That's how the world sees me. Carl Jung said something that really resonated with me. And the sentence was, the persona is that in which in reality one is not, but which oneself as well as others think one is. In other words, the mask we show to the world isn't really us. It's a role, a projection we have made to fit in, to be liked, to be accepted. But here's the thing, it's not the real us. And the more we wear it, the more we wear this persona, the more we forget who we are underneath. So, what happens when we take off these masks? What happens when we stop pretending and start being ourselves? It's scary. I know it's a journey, one that requires vulnerability, courage, and the willingness to be seen for who we truly are. But the thing is, the real you, the person underneath the layers of personas, is waiting to be free. Waiting to live authentically, to stop pretending, to stop performing for everybody else. It's not easy, trust me, I've been there. But let me tell you, taking off these masks is one of the most liberating things you can do. When we stop pretending to be what we think we are, who we think we should be, we give ourselves permission to just be who we really are. To be imperfect, messy, vulnerable, and human. And in that moment, we stop feeling like we have to fit in. We start belonging to ourselves. And that's when everything changes. That's when we start loving ourselves. Look, I'm wearing this sweater. Show that I love myself, my authentic self, the real me, not the persona. I want to offer you a simple but powerful exercise today to help you start taking off these masks. All these masks you wear in your life. It's called the mask and the real you. You can do this right now or whenever you feel ready. So grab a journal, a piece of paper, or just take a moment to reflect and let's dive in. First, I want you to think about the different roles or personas you wear in your daily life. It could be the perfect student, the funny person, the caregiver, the people pleaser, or the strong one. What do you find yourself performing most often? Think about the times when you feel like you're pretending to be someone you're not, just to meet someone else's expectations. I invite you to think about it. If it's possible for you now, write it down. Now let's explore why this mask exists. Ask yourself, why do I wear this mask? What am I afraid of? What am I trying to avoid by showing up as this version of myself instead of the real me? Are you afraid of rejection? Are you afraid of failure? Maybe you're afraid of judgment, or perhaps You're afraid of not being enough. I remember when I first did this exercise was about 3.5 years ago. I was on a retreat in Ibiza. It was a 1 week long retreat, and it was about coming back to our authentic selves. And one of the exercises we did was painting a mask, a blank mask, and wearing it for the whole day. And then we took it off in front of the whole group, and we told ourselves, okay, this is how I was. And it was very, very insightful, because at the time I thought that maybe if I learned to ice skate, I was gonna be a cool person. I'm not cool because I don't know how to ice skate. That's the story I told myself. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I was going through a phase, and in that stage I said, well, maybe if I learn how to ice skate, that will solve my problems. My problems in life, they all stem from me not knowing how to ice skate because I'm not cool. I know it can sound very pathetic, right? But that's one of the masks that I wore, that I had to be cool. And in order to be cool, I had to be an ice skater. I don't ice skate. I think it's a very elegant and very beautiful sport. That's not, I've never learned it, and I don't have to become that person. All I have to do is be myself, come back to my authentic self, take off the masks, be able to look at myself in the mirror and be proud of who that authentic person is. And that's when I first became aware of the wound that I had of not being enough or not feeling enough. So basically, I had told myself that story that I had to be cool in order to belong or to be accepted. But it was because I thought that I wasn't enough. I wasn't worthy. And it was very interesting when I was presenting in front of the whole group. I was really nervous to begin with. We all did it. We all went by one. It was a women's retreat. We were like 40 people. And we were like near a castle in the forest. It was very neat. But when I took off the mask, the one thing that came to me was, I am worthy. Just for being, just for existing, I am worthy. I don't have to do or have or be a certain way in order for me to be worthy or to be accepted or to feel that I am enough. I took off the mask, and as soon as it fell off, that's the insight I got. Wow, I am worthy. And maybe the masks that you're wearing, the persona that you have built, you wear them because they are preventing you from feeling rejected, from feeling that you are not enough, or maybe thinking that you are a failure or that you're going to be judged. Do this exercise. I invite you to try it for yourself. You can do it in front of your friends if you want, as an activity together. Or you can do it in front of a mirror by yourself if you feel ready for that. You will be surprised at the things that come when we take action, when we do things physically, not just thinking or visualizing or meditating, when we are actually doing it with our body. A lot of insights come to us, like that insight that came to me over 3 years ago. I had painted the mask. I remember I put glitter. I made it so beautiful, so pretty. And the teacher was like, don't worry so much about making it pretty. I didn't know we were going to throw it away. The mask was going to end up in the trash anyway. I didn't know. Here I was, very, very concerned about making it pretty, colorful, with the designs, very symmetrical, coloring, adding glue, putting on the glitter. It's surprising how determined we are to make the mask as beautiful as we possibly can. That identity, that persona, that mask. We decorate it so well because we need to show how perfect, how wonderful it is. But it's nothing but a mask, it's a persona. And that morning, when we spent a couple of hours painting, gluing, cutting, little did I know that in the afternoon I was going to be presenting that the mask was going to fall off and I wasn't going to care anymore about the mask. But I was so worried in the morning. Take a few moments to write down why you feel the need to wear this mask. Think about it. Feel it in your body. It's okay to be honest. This isn't about judgment. It's about understanding where this mask came from and why it's been so hard to let it go. He doesn't need to worry about it. He is himself. He never needs to try to pretend to be a certain way or to act a certain way in order to be loved. He knows that he's worthy. His value doesn't come from what he does or how he behaves. He just is. And I love him and people love him and hug him and care for him just for the fact that he is, the fact that he exists. And it's the same for us if we allow ourselves to be. We'll be surprised at how much we can be appreciated by others. Now let's shift gears. I want you to close your eyes for a second and take a deep breath. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror. You're looking at the real you. You want to look at it? You look at yourself. You're looking at the real you, no masks. The one without the mask. So I'm going to take it off. Look at yourself. Look how much you shine. Look at your beauty. Look into your eyes. He's doing it too. No da cósmico. Has no issues doing it. If you can, grab a mirror and do this exercise like this. Who are you? You don't have to please anyone. You don't have to hide anything. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're simply being. What do you look like without the mask? What emotions come up? Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more free? Maybe even scared? What do you hear in your mind when you stop pretending? As you're looking into the mirror, you're looking at your reflection. What do you hear? when you stop pretending. Allow yourself to feel the real you. Now, with your eyes still closed, think of one small thing you can do today to show up as that person, the real you. It might be saying no when you usually say yes. It might be speaking up in a conversation when you're normally quiet. Or allowing yourself to not be perfect. Just one small act of authenticity. Authentic. Finally, let's make a plan. What is one small step you can take to remove the mask today? It might be something as simple as telling someone how you really feel, taking a break to do something you love without guilt, or letting go of the need to impress in a social gathering. I want you to commit to this small action today. If you can, write it down. No need to change everything at once, but just one thing. This one thing you just wrote down, this one thing that just came to your mind. Over time, these small steps will add up. Every time you take off the mask, you get closer to the real you. And you get to say, I love me. After you have taken that step, come back to your journal. Reflect on how it felt to show up as your true self. Even in a small way. Now that all these masks are gone and you come back to your true self. What did you learn about yourself? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel free? Do you feel more present? This exercise is a process, and it's okay to take it slowly. The more you practice showing up as yourself, the easier it gets. And the easier it will become to peel away those layers of protection. Because in reality, this persona has protected us, right? And you embrace the real you. Removing masks isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every little step you take brings you closer to the freedom of living authentically. And the world needs you. It needs your real self. Just the way you are. You need to shine as your real self. The world is waiting for you to show up as a real you, without mask, without this persona. I truly hope you take the time to do this exercise to see what insights you get as you do this exercise of taking off the mask, removing the mask, letting it fall. Thank you for joining me and Nuga Cosmico in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made you reflect on yourself, on who you are, on how you can connect more deeply with yourself by removing these masks, by taking the courage to remove the mask and show up in the world without the mask, without the persona. If you resonated with this information, feel free to like it, feel free to subscribe, and send this video to someone who might benefit from this information. We will be back with more ideas, with more tools to connect to our inner world. For now, we say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining us today, and we wish you a beautiful, authentic day and a beautiful life. Goodbye. Say bye. Say bye. Bye.